Alarm starts ringing, but something doesn't feel right. Parents start screaming, but it's not their usual fight. Get up, or you'll be late for school. I let out a groan into my pillow, 'cause I know what's coming. And I'll fight kicking and screaming every step of the way. It's not even light out, I argue, it doesn't seem fair. The school got torn down with that tornado 2 weeks back. I'm running a fever, they don't even like me over there. I use all the tricks I developed over the years to get out of what's coming, but they're not taking the bait. They know exactly what I'm doing, they've been there too. The summer breaks over, and it's time to head back to school. Them seeing me off in that early morning light feels more like a sentence, 90 to life. Picking that seed was less about the view, more about counting sheep. But when those brakes squealed and that door opened wide, that loyal pack would always be there by my side. The day already planned out for us, homeroom and English, science and math. Then lunch bell rings, followed by the sweet relief of running track, or just being able to hear myself think. Sadly, it never lasts. Shop class calls, ROTC, home ec too. But just between me and you, school isn't my thing. I keep being told I need an education, it will make me a respectable member of society. How can you get anywhere if you don't learn from your teachers? But I keep telling them when I'm there I don't learn a thing. You think I'm lazy, that I'm too cool for school. You call me a rebel when I do my best to maintain control. You labeled me as problematic 'cause I question your methods, but I only push back because I see the faults in the system that we call school. You want me to have an education, but you refuse to teach. You want me to learn the lesson, but you only know how to preach. I've read the books front to back, but you still failed me, 'cause I finished the workbook the first week in which we came back and refused to socially engage with the class. Please, I don't want another lecture on how to improve my grades. I'm not problematic, I just refuse to conform to your ideas of what the perfect student should be. You know I'm too smart for this school, and you don't know how to handle students like me. I swear you could hear a pin drop at those PTA meetings. Their first mistake was allowing phones in class. Their second, not learning from students like me. But damn, was the outcome justified? Imagine that. What were you thinking? You should have been more concerned about others' feelings. What do you mean we violated your rights? Keep this up with your antisocial behavior and you'll never graduate at this rate. All I could do was sit there and grin at their indignation when I produced those recordings. And I stood up for what I thought was right, because from that day on my parents agreed school was never my thing. I keep being told I need an education, it will make me a loyal drone of the hive. How can you get anywhere if you don't learn from your teachers? But I keep telling them when I'm there I don't learn a thing. You think I'm lazy, that I'm too cool for school. You call me a rebel when I do my best to maintain control. You labeled me as problematic 'cause I question your methods, but I only push back because I see the problems with the system that is school. You want me to have an education, but you refuse to teach. You want me to learn the lesson, but you only know how to preach. I've read the books twice over now, but you refuse to give that passing grade, because I refuse to follow the herd. to your ideals of the obedient citizen. I'm just too smart for your school, and you can't handle counter-activists like me. Alarm starts ringing, but something doesn't feel right. Parents no longer screaming, not like they used to fight. No one's yelling for me to get out of bed beyond that old alarm clock. Ah, my old friend, no school today, at least not in the way you think. No bus, no homework, no lectures by self-righteous educators. Every day's a lesson, now that I'm learning from home. 10-year or more of being a subject of social indoctrination was never my thing. The board can say I was expelled, while others say I dropped out, but I choose to think of it another way. I played by their system, and I obeyed their rules, but when I began to question the curriculum, they didn't know how to handle me. Because just to let you know, I just understood I was more intelligent than those that taught at what they call school.